What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Early Birds podcast. My name is Richie. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Aleks.
This is also Aleks. Thank you for tuning in to the breakdown of episode 5. Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. I'm very excited for tonight. I think we're going to have a lot of very fun stuff to talk about because we're here to talk about Survivor Wisconsin's 8th season, specifically episode 5 of Calm versus Chaos. Sorry, my voice is so a little screwed up from the other day. Somehow, I totally don't know. But jokes aside, we'll be talking about everything crazy that happened, including a special twist, and we may even have a few fun guests to bring out to you guys at the end of the episode. You guys can ask some questions too. And without further ado, I think we should just get going, right? Unless there's anything you two want to talk about beforehand.
No, let's just dive right into it.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Is there any stuff pre-challenge you guys want to talk about? Was there? Because, I notoriously missed the first 12 minutes, and now everyone thinks I'm doing something I'm not. So,
I think we just went right to the challenge. I think.
Yeah. No. It started off pretty simple. There wasn't much before the challenge. Just plenty of recaps and stuff.
Yeah.
I assume that. And yes, Ben, I'm very excited for my family reunion. I think we should just talk about the challenge, right?
Yeah.
So, challenge is pretty simple. I think it's kind of just like Flip Cup, right? Everyone knows Flip Cup. It's kind of just like Flip Cup, and I believe everyone had to flip a certain amount of cups, and then like the first tribe to get all their members to flip all their cups wins immunity, unless I missed something about that.
Yeah. So no.
I knew it was something I missed.
Everybody flips 2 cups, and then move to the next person, really, and whoever gets their whole tribe to complete it first wins, and we've done
And
it.
then somebody has to go again.
Yeah, because I think they were down numbers. But yeah,
one player from each tribe had to go twice. Yeah.
But yeah, we've done Flip Cup in every season we've done. It's kind of a staple of the show. So if you ever apply, just gotta practice Flip Cup, and that's all you need to do.
Especially in outdoor conditions where the wind is blowing like mad.
Yes.
The wind. What are you guys, teeny and 47? Okay, jokes aside. Yeah, I think it was kind of a definite fun challenge. Definitely a quick challenge. I mean, I don't think I have much opinions on it. I think it kind of was what it was. I think we've kind of done Flip Cup as a general challenge so many times that it's kind of fun here and there, but I think it was what it was. I think it was pretty good. So
yeah, like it's a staple to the game. If you don't have it in a season, people might turn heads and be like, "What?" But it's a staple, and of course, the wind kind of picked up at the wrong time and kind of caused some players to kind of screw up, and we can't really control the wind, yada yada. But we can just go to the results of the challenge because nothing big happened really.
All right, Steib, anything you want to say before I do that?
No, it's one of those challenges. It's kind of a staple in the college party scene. It's very hit or miss for myself personally. Like some days I'll just flip like perfection, and then other days I will be struggling like flipping the same stupid cup 50 times and getting nothing. It's one of those challenges that could really go either way, but as we see in the challenge, it does go one way.
Yeah, it definitely goes. Yeah, it's kind of like once you kind of know, like, the better people at Flip Cup, whenever we have challenges like this, you do kind of get a good sense for, like, which people are naturally going to be more inclined to win or which tribe can be more inclined to win, depending on who's going to Flip Cup. So, without further ado, I think I'll just get to the results.
Yeah.
The winning tribe of this challenge is Vivese again. Vivese wins immunity. As if that's a shock of the century at this point.
Put some V's in the chat.
Just making me and Steib's job harder every episode, basically.
You made my job easy, you guys. Thank you so much.
This pink bandana is burning right now. It's burning my scalp.
it's just been
I don't know what
attached
you're
to my
talking about. I got
neck
yellow.
for
Yellow's my favorite color.
the past month, and I can't take it off until we finish every single podcast. I guess. But yeah,
it must be really hard for you, isn't it, Aleks?
but yeah, Filemu goes back to tribal, but after we discuss the wheel.
Yeah, we will talk about the wheel. So the wheel this time around, I'm pretty sure was Jamil. It's funny, just barely landed on Chaos. And the reveal is that the losing tribe will go straight to tribal council. I think that's kind of it, which I kind of thought was a pretty interesting twist to do. I do think it's a pretty fun twist. It definitely can impact the game, and the people at the bottom could not get enough time to like really talk and strategize. But I think as a general thing, it is kind of interesting as a player to kind of watch how other players will react to the twist and what they could pull off with it. So,
But yeah, I'll add.
At tribal council could cause a lot of trouble. So sorry, Aleks, I'll pass it to you.
Yeah. So yeah, Filemu goes back to tribal instantly, and being in this same situation where it's an instant tribal, it is really nerve-wracking because for me, I was swapped onto a tribe that just is going straight to tribal. So I didn't have any numbers. So that scramble period for like a minute is one of the most chaotic things ever. And we do see a lot of scrambling going on as well before tribal with Nick and Jamil and Dan and Kayla and Jake all just kind of trying to figure out what's the best plan here. And Dan and Kayla both spit out Nick's name first, being like, we couldn't get him out this time, so let's go for him again. And that just kind of started to snowball with everybody else then. Hey, Jamil's here. But yeah. Steib, want to add anything to that?
Steib. I was nodding at you. It was like...
No, sorry about that. Thanks to everybody that's tuned in right now. Hope y'all are enjoying the breakdown. And
it's crazy.
Yeah, it was really crowded in the live stream of this episode, and yeah, we were having a fantastic time in there. So yeah, thanks for carrying that over here. This was one of those challenges, like I said, that could go either way, and Vivesi got a pretty clutch victory to continue what has been a pretty impressive run of challenge victories. So yeah, it's for the tribe that was originally cast to be the Calm tribe, they're playing a very, very, very chaotic game. And I don't envy them having to go to tribal right away like that and having less time to talk yourself out of getting voted out. That's brutal. So yeah, that's all I got to say, really.
Yeah, it kind of sucks being like one of the most like unluckiest tribes ever in this show. First the wheel spins for Linda's safety, and that's your first target. Then you have an instant tribal, so it's really just totally going wrong for that tribe, and hopefully they can turn it around. But yeah, it's just been rough, and it was rough for me as well filming.
He doesn't like to do stuff. I'm joking.
Hey, the better the tribe is at competitions, the easier my job is.
Of course.
Until merge. But yeah.
Well, I mean, my job involved a lot of running around on Vivesi.
Just a lot of walking back and forth between the areas.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, and because they were also, after the challenge, they were running around looking for, I think, still trying to pretend to look for idols and advantages. There are some funny scenes with frogs. I think was it a frog?
It was a frog. Yep.
Toad, maybe one of them.
There was a mushroom I think Tony tried grabbing down at one point, and I was like, Tony, that is not an idol. That is a mushroom, and I would not advise you to touch that. But of course, because I had to be the parent in this situation, they did the exact opposite of what I told them to do. So what do you think he did? He touches a mushroom anyways, and I'm like, you signed the waivers. We're not responsible.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the frog has more screen time than Joey in the whole series right now.
Good who?
Joey.
thought we were gonna say Tony, but okay.
No, Joey. I said the frog has more screen time than Joey in this whole season so far.
Yeah, I was about to say no shade to Joey, Alex. What the shit?
Yeah, I'm just making fun because we've not talked about Joey in a while either, and we'll talk about him sooner or later. But yeah,
we'll talk about some of the outcasts sooner and later. I think it's kind of just generally more or less of the same. Vivese. I don't know if there's really a lot to talk about.
No. Nolan comes out and says, "Hey, I have an advantage," and he kind of shows it to the whole tribe, and they're all kind of like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. We can totally use this come merge." And then they decide to create a fake idol with the stick and the felt that Nolan tossed. So that's pretty funny. If Steib wants to add on to that as well.
Yeah. Vivese, like I said, they got a good run of wins rolling, and they're riding high right now. And what Nolan did, just coming clean about the advantage and just saying, "Hey, here's what I got. It's an extra vote. It's something that we could potentially use against Pink Tribe down the line." Like that's a wise move, and it builds trust, and it builds more trust on top of the bonds Nolan already has in the game. So I think that was a fair move, considering Tony was right there when he saw it. So I figured it would probably be wiser to come clean anyway.
It's a pretty chaotic move, if you say so myself.
Mm-hmm. And we also...
Okay.
Well, hang on. Well, and piggybacking off of what I'm saying, Vivese, they were shown making a fake idol. And I just think that this tribe is looking pretty strong right now. And we'll see how those bonds are tested in future challenges.
Yeah, so I almost forgot what I was going to say. I actually have something that Vince actually texted me recently and told me actually something very interesting about last episode when he was sitting on the ground where the advantage was. He actually told me something about this, that apparently he was kind of sitting there pretending to be exhausted to try to look down and have an excuse to see if Nolan got the advantage. So he just told me that, and so I was thinking, like, when Nolan kind of told Vince, when Vince kind of saw it, he did a lot of work, and then Nolan kind of just tells everyone anyways. And I'm kind of like, damn, like, it's a really good move by Vince to try to, like quietly and subtly try to do that. But, I don't know, it's all for naught, because Nolan kind of just tells everyone, which I think is a pro and a con. It's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword because obviously, the more honest you are, and I've been in the same spot with advantages in some of my past seasons where, like, if you're honest about it, it can build trust. But if everyone hears about it, as we kind of saw with Kayla in the past episodes, it can put a target on your back, depending on.
Yeah.
So, I'm holding a little balloon hammer that Aleks got for me.
But yeah, so yeah, Vivese is really looking strong going forward, and they're all pretty united under one tribe right now. So we'll see how that kind of follows up. But yeah, there's really nothing else that really happened. Swim with the fishes. But yeah, we'll see just kind of how Vivese kind of, their vibe tribe goes going forward, because who knows who's really on the bottom and like who might flip eventually. So we'll see.
You don't know who's on the bottom?
They don't. The player who's on the bottom might not know he's on the bottom.
Okay, that is fair to say. That's fair to say. I thought you said we don't know, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Have you been watching this? I'm joking.
It's fine. But there's really nothing else to say with Vivese, so I think we can move back to Filemu.
Steib, is there anything else you want to say before we move back to Filemu?
No, I think we covered all there is, but I see Nicholas in the chat. What up, Nicholas?
Oh my
Thanks
God.
for coming out.
What up?
Showing up.
There, Nicholas! What's up? Sorry, my voice is fucked up tonight, Nicholas. Someone pays me respect. I won't get to that later on. But yeah. Does Richie have multiple inflatable? I do actually. Thank you for asking.
Yes, he does.
One's a bat.
Yes, Aleks helped me get one of them, and I got the other one all by myself.
Yeah,
Let's
more
go
like
to filet move.
material things. That's why.
I'm not going to get you one of them. You're dangerous enough. No, I'm kidding.
Who am I again?
All right, so
Jokes aside, moving on. Sorry, you can go first, Alex.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I'll go. Okay. But yeah. So they go back. They kind of. We don't see a lot. We do see Nick scrambling around trying to see if if he's a target or if he's cohesive with Jamil and Jake, and Dan and Kayla are both saying just go with Nick, and Jamil is just trying to figure out what the best option is, because right now he is like the main kind of like player on that tribe, kind of doing a lot of the dirty work. But yeah, it's gonna be a pretty interesting tribal, because there is an easy vote, and there's also is a vote that you can make if you have the numbers, but it is also an instant tribal. So who really knows? Because it's a really tough space to be in, for sure, going to an instant tribal. So it's either live tribal or going with the first name that's been thrown out. So if you guys want to add anything before we go to tribal.
Sorry, you go first. Sorry, son.
Oh, okay. It is difficult when you're down to 5 people left on your tribe and you got to kick somebody out. And, at that point, maybe you start lying to people and just getting another majority group of 3 together and saying, okay, we have the numbers now. This person not over here talking to us right now, they're obviously a huge target. They have this or they have that. And you just try to scramble yourself out of that situation. But like we said, it's straight to tribal. There's hardly any time. It's pretty damn well tough to come out of that situation when you already were towards the bottom of the tribe, and you may have gotten some votes in past tribals.
Yeah, I definitely kind of agree with pretty much everything you guys were saying. It is definitely a very difficult position to be in, especially considering the fact that they aren't really given that time to really talk beforehand. It could, as I said before, screw someone as on the bottom. But I also do think it's a very interesting twist, considering the fact that it does shake up the game a little bit. It does show people like, hey, you need to always be on your toes, ready to like expect the unexpected type of thing. Yeah, I basically, you guys kind of said everything I said, which is really good for my voice right now, because I need to rest up for my vacation this weekend, because I need to get paid. So I'm just reading
Hold
this.
up. Corey fucking Davis is in the damn chat.
Corey!
Oh my God, we got Corey in the chat.
Corey's in the chat.
Welcome, Corey.
Cast reveal a little bit before the season films in mid-October. Okay, that's good to know.
Big news from Devin as well. Yes, that's good to see. It's good to see plenty of people committed already. That's great. Hell yeah.
But I think we could just go right to tribal, because there wasn't really a lot of major talking points. It's just like who you're aligned to, really, and those strong bonds you make before everything goes to shit. But yeah.
All right, so tribal council number 6. Not exactly, I feel like, a lot to talk about. I kind of feel like it's somewhat more or less than the same as usual. Like, they just left tribal, they're going back to tribal council. It's like,
there wasn't a lot of talking points really at tribal either. A lot of people were just pissed and angry, and just
nobody wants to be in that position.
Yeah, they would all just be like, okay. And I think a lot of people kind of knew going into this tribal what the player who was going to go anyways. So, yeah.
Was it at this tribal when Jake said the title of the episode, or at least before it? At least before this tribal? Or was that going to be the following tribal?
I don't know, actually.
I'm trying to remember which tribal he said that before. It's like killing a puppy. It really was.
I just think of that Archer episode where they replace all the lights.
Following tribal, and Dan said it, he says.
Thank you, Dan. My
There you go.
mistake.
But yeah, so can we just get through this, guys?
I am.
Richie.
Let's get to the results. Yeah, I don't think we have much else to cover.
Thank you. So votes are in. Nick is the next person voted off and is on the Outcast tribe.
He is the 6th.
You're not saying anything. You're too busy.
Can we get 2
Why
Aleks
you
job
not
counters in the
noticing
chat,
else
please?
before the vote? I was waiting for you to speak because I didn't want to interrupt you. I was trying to be nice to you, but clearly that was a mistake.
No, Aleks is doing a fine job hosting, and so would I.
There, I muted both of you guys.
Want to continue with that then? Nick being voted off.
Yeah, so Nick is the 6th person voted out of the game. Unfortunately, 6th person voted out of the game, joins the Outcast, and it's definitely kind of sad because it's like Nick kind of didn't exactly get the best exact opportunity, I feel like, to play the game because everyone was kind of borderline against it. Granted, he was getting paranoid. A lot of people were kind of onto him for that, and he kind of was just the obvious target left. But at the same time, it's kind of like it was sad to see Nick go out here because, what do you guys think about this vote off before we move on to the next thing?
I'll only mention one more thing because it's being said in the chat. Kayla's idol has been her lifesaver this whole entire pre-merge because the whole tribe wants to save it for the merge, but people are too scared to vote for her because she could play it. So it's pretty powerful how she has held on to this thing, even though her name has been said at every single tribal. So gotta give props to Kayla there because she has a lot of power even without being in the power position she's she could be in. So gotta give props to her and gotta give props to Jamil because he does have a lot of power in this game, even though he has really no advantage or anything in this game. He's just doing a really good job making good strong bonds and even breaking those bonds when he needs to. So I think we can go into the huge twist of the season now.
Yeah. Anything you want to say before we get to that side?
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Nick, and it's an unfortunate part of the game, especially when that momentum gets rolling and your tribe just can't seem to get the win. So it's unfortunate, but let's see how the Outcast twist goes.
All right. So we get to the 5th challenge of the season. It is the Outcasts come back into the game. And the challenge is essentially the one they did in the premiere of New Blood. Essentially, they spin around a bat a few times. And they have to run out, toss a ball into a little bucket, whatever you want to call it. Except this time it's not in rounds. It's just go at once. And they have to get the ball, run it back to their tri-mate. The next tri-mate goes. Whichever tribe gets theirs in, depending on what happens, say both tribes remaining, i.e. Viveste and Flemu, get theirs in first, then the Outcast, no one comes back into the game. If the Outcasts beat even one tribe, the tribe they beat goes to tribal council, vote someone out, and Outcasts vote one person back in the game. If the Outcasts manage to beat both tribes in the game, then the Outcasts will vote 2 people back in the game, and the tribes they beat will each vote 1 person out. And I definitely love the Outcast twist. I'll talk more about it later on when it's a bit more relevant to talk about it, because I was even saying in the live chat for the episode why I love the Outcast twist, but I'll definitely talk about it more when it's more relevant. So before we get into the results of this challenge, Steib, Aleks, what do you think of the Outcast twist, the reveal of it, the shock value, all of it, the challenge itself? What do you guys think about it? Tell me your thoughts.
Steib, want to go first?
Yes, absolutely. I thought this episode was stupendous, and I especially liked everything involving the Outcast twist. It's good to see varying ways that players that get unfortunately booted early, they can get a second chance to at least get back in the game or at least compete somewhat. And like we saw in the competition, these Outcasts were ready to compete and they gave it their all. and it was fantastic to see. And I gotta say, there's a special place in hell for Devin because he put in a cliffhanger right before the challenge started, and I was like, "You mother trucker!" But luckily, he tricked all of us. So I'm just playing.
Yeah.
I knew that it was all in this episode, and I still fell for that shit. So I was like, "Wait a minute!"
I fell for it.
I did fall for it. I was kind of like, I cannot believe I fell for that. I knew what was going on in the episode, and I still fell for that. So that was kind of funny.
But yeah, it was kind of funny because I was filming VVC and they totally just destroyed them. That I started filming the Outcast try because Nick was still on his first. Nick was still on his his throwing stuff because he kept missing it. But yeah, VVC would just totally just destroyed the two tribes, and it wasn't even close. They're just a very dominant team. The Outcast, the whole Outcast twist in general, I find it really cool because it's more than just a battle back competition. It takes a lot more social game as well to be, on this tribe and still trying to form connections to get people to vote you back in. Even if you do win or take second place, you still have a chance to get back into the game. So it's more than just like one challenge. It's a mixture of both social and challenge strength as well. And I do find it funny how in the comments they said Nick was still trying to help the pink tribe, but he didn't really succeed. But yeah.
All right. Anything else you two want to say before we get to the results?
Let's get to them.
All right. So the first tribe that won this challenge was VVC. They won the challenge. They remain in the game, and pretty much we're told that all of them are making it to the merge. So we basically know all 6 of them are getting to the merge. The next group that won were the Outcasts, meaning that at least one person is returning to the game. They get to vote one person, and last place is Filemu, who will vote out one person at Tribal Council that essentially will borderline be replaced by the person that comes back. So
yeah,
I think there's really only
I still find it cool because I feel like the Outcast taking second is like the best possible thing for the season, because it would be cool to see them totally win and kick both VVC and Filemu's what's in this competition. But like it is still kind of cool seeing them take second place and still getting to vote somebody back into the game, and seeing Filemu vote somebody out of the game still. So I feel like it was like the best possible situation right there, because yeah, you do want to see the Outcast win or at least take second place. So it was very entertaining. So that's what I'm that's what I'm gonna add to that.
Yeah, I got more of the same. I'm so glad the Outcasts were able to at least somewhat win, and it's good to see one of them get back in the game. It's an unfortunate chain of a series of events for Filemu, as they have to go back to Tribal now with freaking 4 people and vote out one of them right before the merge. That absolutely stings.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I kind of feel bad for Filemu, although I was actually really curious about what would have happened had the Outcasts gotten first. But we'll talk about that later on. So yeah, is there anything we want to say before we just talk about the Filemu
pre-tribal?
I think my favorite conversation was Jamil and Jay's conversation, because those two have become really close allies in this game, even though we've not seen a lot from them. But it's pretty cool seeing those two kind of become really good close allies, even though they've been to Tribal every single time basically, and they've been through the whole ringer in this pre-merge, and they're still finding ways to kind of be on top of the vote. But yeah, it's a four player vote off. So it's you need that last swing vote kind of, and that's kind of Kayla in this situation, and Jamel just kind of really does a good job of persuading her to vote for the player who gets voted off that we'll get to soon.
Yeah, and kind of bouncing off of that, I think kind of what we see with Jake, again, another great indicator of Jake's low-key game and how he's really bonded really well with everyone. And I think this whole round even kind of like, I don't want to say like personifies it, but I think it really just showcases how good of a game he has been playing. So, Steib, what do you got to say about a lot of stuff that happened this round?
Out
of it.
Yeah, it's a lot of wild scrambling, and ultimately, it's a tough make or break decision for all four of these players, and you just got to hope that you don't find yourself on the opposite end of that move at this point in the game, and it's unfortunate, but yeah, unfortunately, another Pink Tribe member is going to have to go home again.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of interesting that Kayla borderline kind of feels like not an afterthought, but this episode, it kind of is like they're not even thinking of gunning for her because they want to, not because they want to use her as an ally, but because they want to use her idol. And it kind of feels like I'm not gonna lie, when I was in high school, there were a lot of people who only talked to me because I would help them with their homework. So kind of borderline kind of felt like that watching it. I was like, they're kind of just using her because they want something that she kind of has, and it's like kind of, I mean, it makes sense for their games though. So it's like, especially as you were going in a minority. And I do think Jamil's argument of saying that whichever outcast comes back in maybe would have bonded more with Jake over Dan. It kind of comes down to those two. I thought it was very interesting, like a very good argument. And it's definitely one of the reasons I do like when we have comebacks in the game, because it's kind of like I think I've said this before. It's almost like pre-jury, like pre-merge, like jury management, if that makes sense, where you have to make sure like you are keeping people happy so that if they come back in the game, they're not upset with you. And that borderline kind of feels like Jake kind of did that without even fully knowing it. So, yeah. I have been trying hard, Jamil. I have been trying very hard, Jamil. Anything else we have to say about Filemu before we go to Tribal Council?
We couldn't mention the disaster because the episodes weren't aired yet. It's a disastrous run, that's for sure. But yeah, no, let's get to the votes.
Yep.
Yeah, so we do get to Tribal Council. I don't exactly think much happens. At least not that I kind of recall. I've been running around the last couple hours while I was watching the episode. So I kind of think it was borderline, very cut and dry. Is there anything we want to talk about before we reveal the vote?
Not necessarily.
Trying to think. No, it was a pretty quick. Christian actually hosted Tribal.
Yeah,
we should
that was fun.
Because Devin was on the Outcast tribe, so Christian got to re-enter his host job for one Tribal. So shout out Christian for that.
Yeah, I did like 2 episodes ago. You guys are acting like he hasn't done it in years.
It's been a long 2 episodes. No, I think that was actually that was 2 episodes ago. He's a very entertaining Tribal Council host.
Yeah, but it's cool seeing a different host for intern a host for a quick episode. So just gotta shout him out because he was
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna say anything about the vote reveal now, because 7th person voted out Survivor Wisconsin, Calm versus Chaos. Dan, unfortunately, voted out. 3-1 vote. Kayla turned on him, and Dan, I think, kind of calls her out the last second too, where he's out like, not like, it's like the thing where he's like, I forgot, it wasn't like that, but it was like, I'm trying to remember what exactly he said because I couldn't hear it too well. But I do think that was kind of a fun interaction at the end where Dan kind of realized immediately, like, yeah, Kayla turned on him.
Yeah.
3-1 vote with Jake actually getting his first vote of the entire season. Which
that's pretty interesting.
Pretty crazy.
Right. It was definitely very surprising to kind of see that, especially because Jake has been playing a pretty good game. So to see him kind of randomly get a vote when it was kind of like, I mean, I kind of get it. As I think, like, obviously Dan wasn't going to go for Kayla. Dane seemed to have a stronger bond with Jamil, so kind of by default it was Jake. But
it was a wise move because Dan.
Sorry, go ahead, Steib.
Yeah,
okay, sorry. No, it kind of in a way was a wise move because you gotta, like Jamil was thinking about before the vote out, you gotta think about the person that could potentially be coming back into the game now that they know there's an outcast twist, and they got to think about who this person could potentially align with. And Dan was a very nice and respectable player, and unfortunately, being nice it will only get you as far as some things. But he was a part of that big trio with Jamil and with Kayla, and something had to give at this point in the game.
Yeah. Well said.
Is there anything else we want to talk about before we go to the Outcasts?
I've got nothing else to add. The kitty is gone. I'll say that.
Kitty.
Yep.
Maybe the kitty's got 9 lives. Maybe we'll see him again soon.
Maybe.
I hope we do. So let's go to the Outcasts. So the Outcasts, we actually do get a lot of great content from them talking and strategizing and them planning all sorts of stuff regarding the vote. We do see Joey try to give a really good pitch saying like, hey, I didn't really get to play and I think I could weave my way in the best. I do know we kind of get a lot of great Julie versus Nick content where their rivalry kind of continues a little bit, like we were talking about the last couple episodes, which I think was very fun. Joe gives a pretty good pitch at the end. What do you guys think of this content of them strategizing before that tribal?
Yeah. I did like the Nick and Julie kind of, talking about, how votes landed on one another and like who is like the kind of like the kingpin on Filemu. But yeah, I didn't really get a lot of info really about the the Outcast people. Like I really only kind of remember Julie and Nick talking, and Nick kind of discussing like who like the biggest like threat was on that tribe and like how they can like still mend. Yeah, so it was interesting. I don't really have a lot to say about this.
Yeah, because I imagine all 6 of them, at least in some way, whether some felt more or less. I believe everybody at least wanted to get back into the game and try to right their wrongs. But yes, we did see early on into this extra Outcast footage, we did see early on some very nice cases being made to get put back in the game. And yeah, respect to Joe and to Joey for speaking their piece. And yeah, ultimately it was unfortunate that y'all didn't take first and get 2 people back in, but hey, you got to make the most with the 1 spot you got.
Yeah, definitely agree. It may not have been 2 people coming back, but even 1 is coming back is better than nothing because there's definitely a lot of stuff that can happen with even just 1 person coming back. And that itself, as we see when past comebacks, can change the game. Last season, we kind of saw like Maris getting back in the game, kind of shook things up a little bit. I think we kind of saw before that, Dolphin Sam getting back in definitely shook up the game. A couple seasons before that, Matt coming back in. Actually, it's not a good example. Matty Ice coming back in Evolution didn't change much of anything, but like even Allie coming back in Summer Solstice, that changed a lot of things. Like the comebacks can definitely change a lot of things. And what I really like about the Outcast is that Ben, I'll definitely will ask this later. So with the Outcast thing, it kind of encourages them to rely more on their strategic prowess and their social game. It almost feels like the Outcast twist is almost like a final tribal for the pre-merge section, if you will, where the players in there have to convince their tri-mates, like, hey, you need to vote for me to get what I want. At the final tribal, you want them to vote for you to win. In the Outcast, you want them to vote for you to get back in the game. I do think there are a lot of similarities with that. I do think there are a lot of similarities to that. And I do think there is a lot of really cool stuff. Like, that's one of the reasons I do think, like, it's very interesting. We haven't done it before. And I definitely think it was a very fresh thing rather than kind of doing a challenge like we've usually done a lot of the time. Switch it up a little bit, you know? Like, definitely fresh. Like we've been saying the last couple seasons, seeing things more freshened up a little bit, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I do like the strategic and social elements of campaigning for yourself that do come into this specific Outcast twist. So I probably went on a little longer than I meant to with it. I apologize, but yeah.
That works.
Do we want to talk about the Outcast tribal itself now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we get to the Outcast Tribal Council. And I do think there's some decent content here. We do have Linda kind of asking a lot of questions, I think directed at Richard, if I remember correctly. Linda had a lot of stands in the chat this episode, I will say that.
Hashtag free Linda.
Yeah, I think kind of like Joey gives another campaign saying that he could weave his way in there well since he was out super early on. Thank you. Yeah, it definitely was a very interesting tribal council. I'm assuming you guys are going to say more that I may be forgetting, but
yeah. Right. So God, I can't remember a lot of this shit. It's
been a long day.
It has. But
I think there's something with Julie and Nick, right?
My mind is in the gutter right now. Oh, okay.
What do you think mine is? I can barely talk. Why do you think I'm relying on you two?
That's fine. We'll stick by a fucking early hour. That's fine.
No, you're good. I'm joking around with you guys. But yeah, there's a lot of talk. I thought there was a little bit more of Julie versus Nick content at one point. I don't know. I was hoping you guys would have remembered a little bit more because I feel like I'm missing something important and I don't want to
Me too. I just cannot remember at all.
Well, I do think it was a very good thing too. And yeah, there was a lot of Julie asked questions. Yeah, like Linda, that's what I thought. There was a lot of questions asked by the Outcasts to each other. Then I swear to God. A lot of questions asked to each other regarding the game at hand and who they thought could go forward the best way and how they could. I know Joe gives a really great pitch again at Tribal Council. Linda asked Richard who he'd vote off he got, and yeah, that's what I thought, because I know Linda was grilling Richard at one point. Julia was the moderator for the Outcast for real. Anything you two want to add in? Because I want to give you two a chance to talk, so I'm not just bogarting the mic.
Right. I'm just right now and just kind of remembering what all happened.
No, between what you're saying and between what the chat's chatting up, no, we're getting a clear picture now. Yeah, thanks everybody for watching this episode breakdown. We got another episode 6 coming Monday. Be sure to tune in then at the usual time.
Yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching tonight so far and for watching our other episodes. If you haven't watched our other episodes, what are you doing? Go watch all the episodes. They're so much fun. So subscribe to the channel. I want to point out this I actually did not know. Yeah, like some people didn't want to get back in, but they wanted to vote someone back in.
Yeah.
If it's not going to be me, at least let's come together and try to get the best solution to who could come back into the game and who could have the best impact. Maybe that's what
But if they don't want to get back in, why should it be eligible in a tribal council to vote someone else back in if they have no interest in being involved in a tribal council where they could potentially get votes to get back in? Like, no shade to like anyone who is in this spot.
I think you're throwing all the shade at them, actually.
I'm not trying to give shade. I'm not trying to be
You're
an
giving
asshole.
all the
I'm just
shade to those
saying,
two.
like, that's kind of my thought on it. Like, why would you want to be involved in it if you don't want to even?
Well, you get a vote anyways. It's just like if they make it clear that they don't want to get back in, but they do want to hear what everybody else wants to say, because they still get a vote. So like, if taking them out of the equation makes them like not a number of votes, let's just find the person who actually like the other people like the 2, 3, or 4 people that want to get back in and give them the votes that they want because they want to play more. And if they don't want to play and they've told people they don't want to play, then that's fine. But they just want to make the best possible player go back into the game, so that's why they get their vote. I don't like when I don't like when we just take people's votes away. That's why.
No, I get that. I'm a sick box. I hate taking people's votes away too. The body language from Linda. Yeah, I thought I got a different vibe from Linda when I talked to her that she wanted to get back in. So, I mean, maybe I missed something with that, but I got a different vibe from Linda, but different conversations. So,
Joe has a good take in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I'm trying to get down to all of your guys' comments. Sorry. Yeah, thank you for commenting tonight, guys. Giving me a run for my my money. Bad news for Nick and Kayla.
But do you just want to get to the vote? Because we're at 46 minutes.
Yeah, no, we will. So anything you want to say before we get to the reveal?
Nope.
No.
All right. By a 3-1 to 1-1 vote, Joe return to the game.
Yeah. And I think Joe did a really good job kind of pleading his case, and you can really see the emotion coming, as well after he got voted in, because he really wants to keep playing, and him, traveling down and playing this game, and it really showed at that time, like he really wanted to be in the game, and it's good because I like people who want to play the game like that, and yeah, Joe coming back in, he got kind of blindsided accidentally kind of because of the chaos twist. So him getting kind of like a fresh start kind of in the game with the merge coming as well. It's good. And hope to see a lot more from Joe coming in the future.
Yes, I second that. It's fantastic to see Joe come back to the game, and it's important, or it's very nice to see how much that meant to him. And the cameras cut off as he was walking back up to the Filemu Pavilion. I was there, and so was Aleks. Everybody was emotional and was happy to see Joe back, and they were hugging him, and it was good to see, considering that me and Aleks were we were the ones recording Filemu, and we saw Joe go in what would have been the second episode, and yeah, it was great to see him come back.
Yeah, because he got blindsided by accident as well, because no one really wanted to go for Joe really, but they kind of had to because Linda was saved that round because of the chaos twist. So bringing Joe back in with the Filemu 4 now. There's a lot of tight bonds in that 4 now because Joe is kind of like the agent now, but who really knows where his trust stands with them. But I feel like when we saw him, the whole tribe was just glad to see Joe back.
Yeah, I definitely think it could have a very interesting effect on the game at this point, because obviously, even though I think even like some people in the other tribe and Vivese were talking at one point saying that at one point there I think one of them did say I thought it was Joe they were talking about, saying that they felt like they could probably work with Joe and pull Joe in if necessary. I think this may have been an episode or 2 ago, but there are definite connections that Joe has to potentially work with either group, either side, and do whatever he really wants to do. So, I mean, right now, the world's his oyster right now, returning to the game. So,
yeah. And I do see Richard's coming in here as well. Like, I'm not kind of downsizing. I'm not downsizing Jamil's blind side. I'm just saying that wasn't the first option, and I feel like he would have been in the game a bit longer if it wasn't for that safety with the chaos twist. Not downsizing Jamil at all. It was a good blind side, but like he would have been safe that round.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, the episode ends with Joe returning to the game, re-entering the game, about to greet everyone. That's where it ends. Before we bring out our special guests, anything we want to quickly say about our thoughts on the episode? Because I really definitely liked this episode. A lot of great content to watch within it.
Yeah, we had back-to-back great episodes, and hopefully the bar just keeps rising and rising and rising at this point.
Yeah, I agree. Similar to the New Blood season, once the game gets underway and once the bigger moves start coming and the larger twists start coming, the game tends to heat up and it gets a whole lot more exciting. We had like 20 people at least at the peak of the premiere of the episode tonight. Chat was popping off, and we got plenty of people here tonight too. I just hope we keep that ball rolling all the way to Monday. I think that was a fantastic episode.
My dumbass forgot to unmute myself. That is so funny. Okay, well, so without further ado, should we bring our guests in?
Yeah, they've been waiting long enough. Let's do it.
They've been waiting a little longer, so give me a quick moment.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear a drum roll while I bring them in? Alex?
I'm doing it.
Yo!
We got Nick and
Oh my
Dan.
God.
Hey,
How we
what's
doing,
up?
team?
We're doing
All
great.
right.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for
Back
joining
from
us
the
today,
dead.
Nick.
Thanks for having us. I'm excited.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really glad to have you guys on. Sorry my voice is so screwed up. However much I talk probably is not helping much either, but you know, I'm a talker. We all know that. Yeah, we got two guests tonight. So I think we do have a couple questions from you, just from me, Alex, and Steib. The rest of you guys can definitely ask some questions later on during our live question segments. But obviously, I'll go first and ask my questions to both of them, and then you guys can go and ask your questions. Nick, I'll start with you. Obviously, I think we do have to talk about the challenge.
Oh,
Ben
boy.
even,
Yeah.
I think Ben even asked that earlier. If it's any consolation, go watch Cabin Fever. I sucked even worse, and my challenge was a lot easier than that. So, obviously, you were kind of in a spot where you were one of the four that it all came down to for if you guys got back in the game or not. Do you think that, like, if you would or would not have, like, had, not just for yourself, but any of you four subbed out for, like, Julie or Linda, is that something that you think could have changed anything, or do you guys think that they would have did worse than you guys did?
Good question. I don't think it's necessarily, well, Heike, they could not have done worse than what I did. That's like damn near impossible. Let's be real. But
You didn't do too bad. I mean, you still kept trying.
like 40 shots is unbelievable.
It
Oh my
happens.
You
gosh.
really did not watch my Super Bowl challenge. You could do worse at throwing. I can assure you that.
Well, thank you. But
Yeah.
as Joe kind of attested to earlier, we were kind of given a pretty clear message that Julie and Linda weren't that interested in coming back into the game. And so we knew kind of that the four of us, the four guys, were the people who should have competed in that challenge. And I also knew, like, Julie was pretty good at throwing. She proved that in the first challenge that we had in the first episode. If she did compete, I knew that I would have had absolutely zero shot of getting back in, because then I wouldn't have contributed in the challenge. So I knew no matter what, if I performed good or bad, I needed to compete in order to have a shot.
Right. No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
The other question I have for you revolves around the Outcast twist. Now, obviously, we kind of do see it come down to a public vote. I believe you got one vote, was it?
Yeah, I think Richard voted for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my other
Thanks,
question to
Richard.
you, and I'm mainly asking you this just because you got to spend a little bit more time with them. If it
Yeah.
somehow had gotten down to two people coming back into the game, is there anyone that you personally think, like, at the time of being in that situation, like, is there anyone that you personally think would have gotten gotten back in the game as that second person? Like, do you think it would have been you? Do you think it would have been like Richard or Joey, or like coming back alongside Joe?
I think anyone is going to be selfish, like to think of themselves. So obviously, I think and I want to think that I'd be the second person to come in. You know, my main selling point was like, okay, I was the most recent person voted out. You know, like I can basically pick up right from where I left off, and I tried not to burn any bridges with the Pink Tribe. So I thought I'd have a pretty good standing to get back in. But regardless, I'm very happy for Joe. And like when he did start crying, I was like, "Oh, shut up!" Like it was really awesome to see that, and I'm proud of him.
That's great to hear. I love to hear that. That's really good information too, because like I honestly got the vibe you could have been the other one coming back in, but you never know. Because I obviously you being there, you would have had a better insight at that, just due to the fact that you were there. Some of us were just watching from the sidelines, so. Now, Dan, I only have one question for you, unfortunately, right now, but I could probably think of some later on. So, Dan, you were voted seventh person voted out of the game. We did see you kind of have a little bit of a reunion with some of the people after they voted Joel back in, after you guys basically swapped places. So, I just want to ask you, if somehow, say, you guys won against the Outcasts, you make the merge, would you have actually, like, just in that moment, were you thinking of sticking with Falemu, or would you have wanted to immediately jump ship and then see what happens?
Wouldn't have wanted to immediately jump ship. I mean, going in, I knew Jamil was running everything on our tribe. I was totally happy to let him take the driver's seat, and that would have been fine if we didn't lose every single tribal, go to every single tribal. When then all of a sudden there's only 3 or 4 of us left, and he's still calling the shots. Then it goes against me. So I was intending to go into merge with at least him being a bigger target than me. Knowing I wouldn't be able to go to the end with Jamil eventually, but that was so far in advance. And when you're losing every tribal, I'm like, I'm just going to stick loyal to the 2 people I've been loyal to since the very beginning of the game, and was hoping they would do the same. And unfortunately, Jamil's a 2-time bastard.
So without
Yeah, I like it.
so without spoiling anything from the rest of the game, because obviously some of you guys did get to see what happened the rest of the game. One question I do have, say you are in this hypothetical situation now, so without spoiling anything for the rest of the game, who would your ideal final 3 had been? Say you make it there and the Outcasts don't vote someone back in. Like, what would you have ideally wanted to do?
That's hard to say when I never even got to talk to the Yellow Tribe. I didn't never get that opportunity to even feel out their vibes. The only person I had to read on was Jimmy. It was just during Ultimate Frisbee. He was covering me the whole time, which was totally unnecessary because I'm terrible at Frisbee. I'm just tall, so I look like I'd be good, but I'm super uncoordinated. You could even see that in the ball throwing. Nick just made me look good in comparison on that one. But what was the question? Just kidding.
Oh my god!
Oh, there you go. Forgot the question.
Iconic.
Shots fired.
So Jimmy would be the one I just would be the most sus of. I just got the vibe he was running things over there, so I definitely wouldn't have ever wanted to take him to the end. But I had no read on anyone else from Yellow Tribe just because I never interacted with them. So that's something I wouldn't really be able to answer unless I made it to merge and was able to talk to them. All I know is that I knew if I were to get to the end, if I were sitting next to Jamil, he would be able to beat me for sure.
All right.
All right.
Aleks, Steib, what questions you guys want to ask?
My
Nick?
questions are always quick and easy. Nick, would you have rather been voted off early and have the chance to like, kind of like, you know, make stronger bonds on the Outcast tribe? Or kind of, because I know, like, you know, being getting there really late, you don't really have a lot of, you know, a lot of time to, you know, like make good bonds on that, you know, that Outcast tribe. So would you rather, because, you know, yeah, would you rather have just been voted out earlier and have gotten time to, you know, make more connections on that tribe and get a better chance of getting more votes towards your name?
That's a good question. I actually hadn't thought of that, but seeing that the way things did roll didn't work in my favor, I guess I'd have to consider the alternative. So, I mean, because for that first vote, when Linda was safe, and then we're all like, oh shit, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, Joe only went home by 1 vote. I was the person with the second most number of
that's
votes.
what I
So
was thinking.
pretty easily, high key, if it wasn't for Jamil,
Yeah.
I easily could have been in Joe's situation. So yes, I think that would have been beneficial, because I could have kind of used the same points that he did of like, I didn't really get a chance to play my game. I was completely blindsided. So yeah, I think that could have worked in my favor.
All right. And then for Dan, coming into this game, you knew Julie. Would you have been a lot more communicative with her throughout the game, and like kind of like make it like you, her, and Kayla, or you, her, and make a more stronger alliance because Kayla backstabbed you, unfortunately. Would you have taken her up with make you like, because you and Kayla were strong? Would it be you and Julie and some other kind of like a major alliance in that way to just like it's kind of like a what if kind of like, yeah.
Got it. Yeah. So going into the game when I first applied, I really did want to play with no one that I knew going in and see how I did. That was my main goal. When I kept seeing Devin posting that they needed more women to apply, and I knew Julie was in Milwaukee, I was like, she'd be a great fit for this. And people wouldn't be able to like creep on my Instagram and tell we knew each other, because she doesn't even have an Instagram. So I was like, that could be a cool secret alliance. But I think our focus was way too much on keeping that a secret. And we did great at that. No one knew we knew each other
Yeah.
because we literally never talked when we should have. So definitely in hindsight, it would have been beneficial to have more one-on-ones with Julie and actually have a game plan with each other. I also think I was trying to take it slower because, hoping I'd have more time later on, which again, we had no time when we keep on
Yeah.
losing over and over again. And so the alliance with Kayla and Jamil just kind of naturally fell into place. And to be honest, like, even if I just didn't happen to be in the area when Kayla found the idol or we went to go to the sand pit, I just kind of vibed with them immediately just when we were doing introductions and definitely wanted to work with them. So that was cool how that easily fell into place for me. And where it was getting hard was if it actually went my way and we voted out Nick instead of Julie, I literally don't know if I would have been able to navigate the next vote well without really breaking trust with Jamil and Kayla more, just from just even cracking at showing that I'm allegiant to Julie.
Yeah. That answers it right there. Cool.
Got the question.
Steib.
All right,
Awesome.
Steib, your turn.
Well,
Jury now.
yeah.
Right.
Fantastic
Final
questions,
trouble,
fellas. And fantastic answers as well. Thank you both for being here. Both of my questions will be personalized for the two of you, but they will revolve around the same general topic of regrets from the game. Now, as we've all sitting here in this call, we've all played the game and we've all been eliminated. And I'm sure there's something we can all look back to and point the finger and say, yep, that might have been my downfall. And honestly, it's part of the grieving process, just getting it out there and speaking it out into the universe and just getting it off your chest. So, Nick, I'll start with you. As you had mentioned, you already were not faring too well because of that twist with Linda, and because, like you mentioned, you could have received Joe's treatment and nearly could have been voted out of the game early. But another thing that may not have helped the game was you had mentioned you were proficient with slide puzzles, and then there was the unfortunate slide puzzle, and it couldn't be solved. And I was just curious if you do regret saying you were good at slide puzzles, and or perhaps how much you regret it, and perhaps from there how that could have affected your trajectory in the game.
Yeah. I think I still would have said like, oh yeah, like I think I can do a slide puzzle, but maybe just not as confidently as I said it. Cause I was like, no team, like if there is a slide puzzle, I will be doing it. And to have that level of confidence and then not pull through definitely is what got me so paranoid. Julie was kind of out to get me in that episode. She's like, well, Nick didn't pull through, right? And I follow the same logic as Julie in that sense. And so I kind of I was freaking out because I had to go against my own beliefs of like, well, yeah, if someone doesn't pull through, I'm going to vote them out because like, why would they have done that? So hence the chaos. I was just panicking. I truly thought everyone was feeling that way and that the target was going to be painted on me, and it wasn't, so it was kind of funny to see myself in that episode that literally everyone is saying Linda, and the whole time I'm like, guys, please don't vote for me, please don't do it. Like I was like, Lord, calm down. Aside from that though, honestly, going back to before the game even started, filling out the survey of like, how do you think you would play this game? This was before we knew what the theme was. Like, we didn't know it was calm versus chaos, right? But all my friends know that I say like, oh, if I'm actually on the show, the real show Survivor, I'm going to be chaotic as hell. Like, all my friends know that. And I initially, before I submitted it, I said chaos, 100%, like put me on the chaos tribe. But then I went, you know what? Maybe starting on a calm tribe would like help me out a little bit more. So I selected calm when I clearly shouldn't have, because one, I think I did play a pretty chaotic game, but then two, Lord, I would have fucking cruised to the merch. So, but you live and you learn, I guess, right?
Absolutely. Fantastic answer. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and ask Dan. Early on in Falemu, you had built and established a powerful trio with Kayla and Jamil, and you guys were able to influence the tribal councils that y'all had the unfortunate nature of going to. Y'all had an unfortunate run of losses and challenges, and then just having to vote somebody off, perhaps one after another, and it's brutal. And I'm curious. Going back to when Kayla found her hidden idol, Dan was there, and he of course saw it, and of course he was hoping Kayla would perhaps use that if there were some situation that needed it to be used. Of course, something big and impactful that could have saved his game. And I'm just curious, Dan, if you possibly regret not targeting Kayla once you found that thing and not trying to get her to flush it and get rid of it, and perhaps maybe get the following idol or advantage in your hands, or if you would regret trying to just fish that out of her or get her out of the game with it.
So if that were in the plans, it wasn't ever going to be until way further down the line. I was completely loyal to Kayla and was mostly saying that as an excuse to not flush the idol and keep her in the game. I was like 90% sure she would never use the idol on anyone other than herself, because why would you? I would definitely have tried to convince her otherwise, but I don't think she would have gone through with it. I mean, she was even more paranoid than I realized. You could see in this episode her talking to Jamil, being like, does anyone want to vote me out? And it's like, no one has been talking. Nick was the only one, and he's gone. So, so it would have come into consideration probably post-merge if I had been there. But from the place we were at and just keeping my allegiance with her and Jamil, it wasn't a thought that had crossed my mind at that stage.
Fair enough. Awesome. Thank you.
I actually just thought of one other question to ask the both of you regarding the Outcast twist. I thought about this actually, I think, during the episode. I forgot to ask it before. So, like, Nick, should they have done the Outcast vote after Dan gets over to you guys? Do you think Dan would have gotten back in?
Ooh.
There's no way. I know the question was for Nick, but there's no way they would vote me back in after they just won the challenge to get one of themselves back.
Oh, that's fair. You're saying after we won the challenge and then Dan came over?
Yeah, like then, like.
Oh
Dan
yeah,
comes
nah,
over
he wouldn't
yeah.
come back in. Yeah, because then it's like, what did you contribute? You know what I mean? Going back to what I was saying earlier. No shade.
They're like,
though, Dan.
oh, boo-hoo, you just got voted out now. We've been sitting here for like 3 rounds. It's like, yeah, it wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have done it if I were in their position.
Yeah.
From kind of hearing like, no, he probably wouldn't have, Nick.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Love you, Dan.
No, I get it. Hey, I voted you
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, no, I was curious.
True.
About it. All right, so Dan, another question I have for you: who would you, if you say you are in the outcast twist, you're one of 7 now? Who do you vote to like get back in the game? Like, who would you have voted for in that moment?
Joe. I mean, I was happy it was Joe.
That's a
So
fast answer. Damn.
he was the one I was hoping would get back in. Well, I mean, other than Julie, of course, but I liked Joe from the get go when we were just sitting down talking to each other. The way that the first tribal just went around, he was already locked in talking with Nick and Jake, and we were like in our own group, me, Jamil, and Kayla. So it just kind of broke a different way. I didn't get to talk to Joe at all. Once Linda was safe, Joe would have been my ideal pick to go because I hadn't talked to him at all. But I didn't know where everyone was at. So it was great that Jamil said Joe. I was like, perfect, we're on the same page. And that also will seal like our loyalty together too. Otherwise, I would have just had to go Nick because he had thrown his name out so much. And so if I didn't connect with Jamil there, I would have just went with Nick, and Nick would have been the boot that round.
Fair enough. All right. So, any other questions that any of us 3 have for Nick and Dan before we go on to player of the episode?
Unless the
before
chat
that,
has something.
If
Well, I was gonna do that
if
for
the
later
comments
for
have any
that.
questions, put them in now before we
Well,
do.
I'm going to do that for the viewer questions part, just so that we have some stuff to talk
Yeah.
about.
I'm just saying, put them in now, so we at least have a list of questions.
Yeah, well, there's a
before.
couple of
Start thinking of questions,
earlier
you
that I
in the
wanted
audience.
to. Okay, we'll get to player episodes, then we'll ask more questions for Nick and Dan. So player of the episode, and Nick and Dan, you can join us too for our vote tonight. For
Cool.
me, the player of the vote, I definitely have to give a shout out to the Outcast tribe tonight and say my player of the episode is Joe, and being able to talk to the Outcast, get his way back in the game, which doing it is hard enough, but then doing it with this extra element of you have to like convince these people that you may or may not know. In this case, I don't think Joe really knew any of them before the game, from my knowledge, and convince them to vote him back in above everyone else there, putting in the work to do it. So, I mean, for me, it's Joe. So,
I'll go next. I'm kind of on Richie's side as well with this. My honorable mention is the frog on Viveste. 2 showings. Again, it got more screen time. Got more screen time.
How the hell did he get up there?
But yeah, Joe for sure is the player of the episode. Doing a really great job of kind of proving why he wants to get back in and eventually getting back into the game as well. It's really, really good to see.
I think y'all make very fair points, and I will go ahead and consider the Outcasts, especially Joe, as my honorary second options for player of the episode, because of course being in that position and getting blindsided early on is tough, but being able to compete in that challenge and help your tribe win and being able to talk your way back into the game, I think that's very incredible. Yes, but a point was brought up to me in the chat by a viewer who was there, and they mentioned that Filebu gets a lot of my player of the episodes, and I actually went back and looked, and I saw the trend. Episode 1 was Kayla, and then 2 was Jamil, and then it repeated. Kayla for 3, Jamil for 4. And I'm happy to say that trend will break now. My episode 5 player of the episode, it's got to be somebody from Vivese. It's got to be somebody who played incredibly well in both challenges, secured the dub, and he's making all the right social moves right now to build trust with his tribe mates. My player of the episode has got to be Nolan. Thank you.
I called it. It was
Nice.
funny. He was just talking to me about that earlier too, actually. So, sorry, Nick, you're up.
Okay. I actually got to agree with Steib on this one. I was going to say Nolan. I really respect, I mean, he did perform well in the challenges for that episode, but then I have a lot of respect for him to show his advantage in front of the tribe and say, this isn't effective when I'm by myself, and this is going to be for us to use like cohesively as a group. I've mad respect for that. I really do. And then to go even further, to like plant a fake idol, and then the tribe kind of uses that along with their strategy. Granted, it's a fucking stick, so maybe that's not going to work that well. We'll see in the future. But As for my honorary mention, I actually want to highlight Jake on Filet Mou because I haven't really had a chance to talk about this, but from the first episode, my goal was to align with Jake and Joe. You know, we said, okay, we're going to be a tight three. And obviously, because that wasn't the main alliance of the tribe, it wasn't really highlighted. Like, we kind of saw Jamil, Dan, and Kayla at the beginning. But for the three of us, the whole time, I thought Jake was by my side. I didn't even know he voted for me for tribal council. Whole time, I'm like, oh yeah, Jake and I, we're number one, easy money. But Jake would, throughout the span of these 5 episodes, Jake was flawlessly able to see that my game was a sinking ship. He was able to jump off right in time, latch onto Jamil, which then included Kayla, and he was about to be on the bottom of this tribe, and he ended up being able to come up into the top, and now he replaced Dan, basically. No shade, Dan. But so I got to shout out Jake. I think he has played a very, very good social game.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. That's great to hear, Nick. Thank you. Dan, you're up now. What do you think?
First, I want to say I'm so proud of all of us for not saying Jamil, because we just could not give that to him. And I am just so happy right now. It's the best gift you all could give to me. I am also not going to say Jamil, and I wanted to give
that would be a plot twist.
I wanted to give Jake his flowers too, even though Nick already started to, because we've talked about it, but it just really doesn't get picked up on camera that Jake talks to you and you just believe him and you trust him. Because right after that first vote, when we voted out Joe, he approached me right after Tribal and was like, so look, we're good. I didn't know where the vote was on that one. I would have voted with you. And I'm like, don't worry about it. We're good. And from that point on, I felt like I had a good connection with Jake, but so did literally everyone else on the tribe, unbeknownst to like everyone else. So he was able to just wiggle his way into a 3-person alliance, which I get Jamil. Sorry, I said Jamil there. I pulled a Richie, but I do get Jamil's reasoning for this, because he felt, and he was correct, that Kayla was closer to me than Jake, and he wanted to make sure that he had 2 number ones there that were more loyal to him than each other. He didn't want to have Kayla have that split, even though we clearly see in the episode Kayla would have been more loyal to him than me anyways. So, but yeah, Jake, for sure, player of the episode.
Awesome. Yeah, of course, we didn't get a lot of footage of Jake and his whole kind of story arc. But yeah, just kind of watching it back, like Jake has done such a good job of staying under the radar and like still making moves that kind of forward his game into a positive trajectory rather than negative, like Nick, for example. But sorry, Nick.
No shade.
Nah, you good. I'm glad the no shade is kind of
yeah
latching on to people.
But yeah, like just Jake has just done such a good job because he's just like the very positive, just guy. You can just go up to him and just be like, "Hey, what's up?" And he'll just be just like in your ear and just be just talking with you the whole time, and you won't know he's against you at all. It looks like so.
Right, and hiding what you're really thinking about in the game is a very valuable asset to have. Because if you're able to hide your emotions, you can very definitely cannot speak today. Sorry, you can definitely very much hide what you're thinking strategically, what you're thinking socially. Jake is playing a pretty solid game so far, so I think I'm definitely excited to see how he plays the merch game. So who really knows if people will pick up on how he's playing or not. Anything else any of us 5 want to say about player of the episode before we move on to live questions? Because there's a couple that were asked twice now, and I want to get to them.
No, I think we're good.
Let's get to the questions.
Okay. Yeah. Bam. The decision's been made. Okay. Viewer questions. There's one that Devin actually asked. I feel bad I haven't gotten to it yet because he did ask it twice. Nick and Dan, what has been each of your favorite parts watching it back that involved yourselves?
Nick, you want to go first, or do you not have an answer?
If you have one, go ahead.
All right. I think it was just how obvious it was to everyone because of Nick that Kayla and I were aligned. Whereas I didn't realize everyone was literally saying both of our names since like tribal council 1. So that was just funny to me to see like how much my name was coming up just because of people talking about Kayla's idol. There's the idol that everyone saw that rang around the world, I guess. But that was the thing I didn't realize was happening during the game. Something not involving me though is anytime Julie's on camera, that's just how she is in real life. I love her so much, and she's just cracking me up every time she said anything.
That's good.
Awesome.
For sure.
I gotta agree. Jules is very entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Very blunt. I like to see it. It's very fun when we have those. I think I said it last week that it's very funny when you have these like blunt characters like Julie or Abby. You know, kind of just people being very blunt and not afraid to kind of say what they're thinking of. They're just throw it out there. It's very fun. And, you know, it's almost a little endearing to kind of watch. So, yeah. Sorry, Nick.
No, you're good. Yeah, I'll kind of do a moment involving me and then someone else. But what I liked was, I think it was the beginning of episode 2 where it was the recap for episode 1. And in the recap, Devin edited it perfectly where it shows Kayla grabbing the idol. She does her confessional of like, I found an idol. I don't think anyone knows though. And then it goes right to me talking to Joe and Jake. And I'm like, Kayla found the idol. I thought that was, I was laughing. I was like, that's just perfect. Yeah, because she thought it was a secret. And within 5 minutes, I made sure everyone on the tribe knew, which didn't work in my favor. So I don't really know why I did that. I think I was just a little excited. But
Yeah. I
and
get
then
that whole
something
sequence there as well.
I liked not involving me, I hate to say it, but in the first episode when Joey was running to the table, he wiped out, and then there's like a slow motion instant replay. I was watching that with my friends, and I mean, all of us were we just burst out laughing. So I'm sorry, Joey. It was great television, though. I thought it was thoroughly entertaining.
That's no shade. That's our pre-merge bestie.
Pre-merge bestie,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh my gosh, we need to create a group chat of us three, low key. Like, we were talking a lot. I think every time I wasn't recording and charging my phone, because my phone almost died 3 times. And I remember we all just like talked at one point, and we were just like, it was so much fun. There's another question for you two from Ben. It was asked a while ago, so I had to dig through the chat to find it. Ben asks, Nick and Dan, how would you play differently next time if you played again?
Ooh. Dan, do you want to start?
Sure. I would be more proactive. I think just it being all in one day, I was playing it slowly, which ended up biting me at the very end. It still mostly worked out, but I needed to find the time to get in more one-on-one conversations to make my bonds closer with people. I don't know how Jamil found the time, honestly. Especially with all the water he drank. I thought he'd be constantly going to the bathroom, but apparently he had time to talk to everyone. And all my conversations, I feel like, were in groups. So I don't know that I ever was able to convey just like how loyal I could be to a certain person or not. And I think that's how Jamil was able to build that bond closer with Kayla.
Yeah, good answer.
Yeah, that is a good answer.
Good answer.
Mine's like almost the opposite, just in the sense of if I played again, I would keep my mouth shut. I think, I mean, that was my first LRG ever, you know, and I think I was so excited to be playing the game. I started off way too goddamn fast. Like, relax, build some relationships first. Like, I was just like pedal to the metal right away. So I think I'd be a little bit more calm, right? Unironically on the calm tribe. But then 2, I actually want to repeat what Dan said. I didn't have many one-on-one conversations, and for some rounds, there were certain people I just didn't talk to at all. Examples being Dan. Dan, we barely spoke to each other. Julie and I didn't talk until her boot off episode. And then same with Kayla. Never had one-on-ones with her until I got voted off. So, yeah, definitely more one-on-ones to try and solidify more just stronger relationships.
Nice. Definitely got a good question here as well.
Yeah, there was
What made you guys want to join / apply for, you know, Survivor? Yeah, for Wisconsin.
Ooh, what made me want to apply? Well, actually, I don't know if he's still here, but Mr. Ben. Oh, he's here. Hey, Ben. I actually got to give him a shout out. So I didn't really know Ben that much, but I saw him at a watch party for the I think season 48 finale, like in the
Yeah.
third ward, and then he added me on Instagram, and then he was like, "Oh, are you doing an LRG?" And I was like, "What the hell is that?" Then he showed me the Instagram page of LRG casting, and I was like, "Oh, shut up! This is so cool." And then he just said, "Oh, by the way, I'm doing Survivor Wisconsin season 7." So I watched the whole season. It was so entertaining. So then when I saw season 8 applications, I did it right away. I was like, "Oh, done. We're doing it."
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So
Word
thanks,
of mouth.
Ben. Appreciate it.
All right, there's another one.
Oh, do I not get to answer, Richie?
Oh, sorry, you did
I guess
get
not.
to answer. I thought
No,
you had-
please
hell?
do.
I'm trying to find something for later, the sneak peek for later. I forgot where it was stored,
Oh,
so
okay.
I've absent-minded.
Oh, okay.
It's
Well,
all good.
We'll let you go.
Appreciate it, Alex.
Yeah,
You
no
rely
problem.
on someone here. I was expecting Steib to take over as host, but you'll do.
What was the
Yeah.
question again? No.
The question, I actually know it. Oh, there's the hammer. Okay, so I actually had recently, my friend runs a Chicago Survivor, and I was invited to play in a season, but I declined playing that time around, but still went and helped with production. And just being there again, just helping with the production, really gave me the itch to want to play again. I already had been following the LRG page, and it just so happened like the week after I had done that, it popped up on my feed to apply for Survivor Wisconsin. I was like, why not? And it would be the first time I got to play where there weren't any pre-existing relationships. How ironic, since then I brought
Yeah.
one into the game. But so that was the main compelling reason I wanted to play, and happy I did.
Cool. Love to hear it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Richie,
There was
wanna-
one from there was one from Ben earlier. Right? That was a joke question that I was gonna find, but it's lost in the chat. So I'll just sneak peek for your vacation, Richie. You know, I'll send you some lovely pictures of me on the coastline. You know, Ben, lovely pictures of me on the East Coast, Ben. You're gonna love it. I'll be in a little umbrella and everything. You'll be the first one to know about it, Benjamin.
It's a well-earned vacation. Have fun. Good luck and all that shit.
Oh, there was one from Joe, actually. He did ask earlier.
What? Do it.
I'm finding it. Joe, who
Just do it.
would people want to see back in the game if it wasn't me?
Dick.
I'll let you guys go first.
So I guess only people that are voted out, or
yeah, like
now,
the
I guess?
outcast.
Yeah, people that are out right now.
Yeah, like if it wasn't Joe, who he's wondering who we would have wanted to see if Joe's ineligible at this point, I assume.
Okay. Well, Dan's also out of the equation, I guess.
Thanks, though. Dick for me. I didn't get to see him much, but he seemed like such a character just from when we were across each other during the puzzles in the first challenge, I mean. And it was sad to see him go so early, and he also flew out from pretty far away. So I would have liked to see him come back in and see if he could do something with a second chance.
Absolutely. Yeah, I second that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Richard, Dick, and then Nick the Dick also.
I say, I'm like, damn, do y'all hate me that much?
And then Julie.
Well, Nick, you said yourself you were probably going to be bitter and go after me, so.
Oh, no, not to you specifically, Dan.
Also, honorable mention to Joey, too. It's hard to be first boot, and he actually wasn't. He had the stumble in that challenge, but, man, he was good at throwing those sticks. He showed up Jimmy, for sure. And he showed he was good again at throwing things with the balls in the Outcast challenge.
Yeah, I agree. I do feel that. I feel bad for Joey. Yeah, I kind of have to say, although she didn't want to go back in, I totally would have voted for Julie. She was so entertaining. And honestly, like, if she made it to the merge, I think she would hold her own pretty well, you know? So I would have liked to see that if she had the desire to continue in the game.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, for sure, for me, it's Nick, Richard, and Julie for sure. Those three would be my vote, but I don't know who I want to put over one another at that point because it's
Well,
like
you said my name first,
that's
so
pretty hard.
me, right?
Did we just list everyone from the Outcast?
Well, I didn't answer yet.
What about Linda?
Yeah, Linda.
We got the
Yeah.
Linda stance.
I was about
We
to
know
say,
where-
yeah, I didn't answer yet. But yeah, you guys talk about Linda.
No, we know where the Linda stands, of course. So I'd probably vote Richard first and then Nick second, to be honest.
Shame. I'm just kidding. It's okay.
Call me a kiss ass for the guest, but I would have voted for Nick.
Thank you, Richie.
If I were, just because I don't know Dick a lot, it would be Nick, Julie, and then Richard. So
Oh yeah, getting the majority vote on this one, then.
there you go. See, if you just vote us three out, there you go.
Let me find the next question.
But yeah, Joey did play decently. It's just Joe just totally just ran like just totally just took the whole Outcast votes and ran with it. But yeah, Joey would be cool to see back on. First vote out. He could maybe align with the VSA crew and do stuff there, or even jump ship and do a cool little blindside. I guess we'll never know.
LOL. Y'all see that Devin's mom wanted me back in the game?
Yeah, I just put that.
Hell yeah.
Yo, Devin, that's like the highest honor a man could have.
Devin's
Yeah,
mom
his
on the
mom-
next newbie season.
Yo.
The mom
Bring her
vote
in.
We need
Really
to get
FT.
like.
a lot of weight.
No. Okay, I thought about this one time, like a season, like a fun newbie season idea of like a bunch of new players, but the thing is that they're all related to past players who play the game.
Oh, that's funny.
Right? Yeah, like call like Survivor Relative Madness. Like I'd love to get my sister in the game. I think she would fuck shit up in the funniest way possible, but also be like a very charismatic, like engaging.
She would do better than Richie.
Aleks, shut the
Straight
hell up.
up.
She'd do a lot better than you would. She'd get to the finals and get more votes than you could ever get in the finals, bitch.
Richie crash out.
Damn.
I just snapped
Get in.
it.
Crash out meter, crash out counter in the chat.
No, defensive counter, defense counter, defense counter. I'll accept defense counter.
No one's counting that.
Sorry, I snapped into that. Sorry. It's been a long week.
FTM for the moms.
There you go.
That could stand for something
Thank you,
different,
Jamil. My man.
but-
Crash out harbor.
Is there any other questions or anything for our two
I'm
guests?
trying-
If not, I think Richie can read our next teaser for.
I'd
Yeah,
like to
I-
file a complaint first
There you go.
Yes, please.
to Jake. I already praised him earlier, but dude, I gave him a total layup with the episode title of it's like killing a puppy. Killing a kitty was right there. He could have so easily dunked on me. Completely huge missed opportunity. Super disappointed to not see that happen.
That's a good point.
That's fair.
We did get a question from Jamil. See Jamil, I can say it correctly. He asks, "Can we have Nick and Dan do Flip Cup right now?"
Bye.
I don't have a solo cup by me. Otherwise, sure.
Ah,
Actually, I have to comment on that.
Ooh, okay.
No, Jamil had a comment from like way earlier, but he was like, Nick made me look good in that challenge. I don't know what he's talking about because you can go back to the footage. It took him way longer to flip the 2 cups than it did for me. So
Jamil had more
No
flip cup attempts than Nick
Or-
had ball throws.
or was he
No.
talking about the ball throwing?
no. He said in the flip cup challenge from a while ago. No shade, Jamil. I still love you, but I think I did better in that than you did. But you did better in the ball challenge, so we're basically even. So it's okay.
Fair enough.
That's funny.
We've lost Dan.
He'll probably be back in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamil also said to what we were talking about before, Devin's mom finding 7 idols, definitely not rigged it up. Actually, I will say, there is like a past history with a lot of past players' loved ones coming into the game and doing pretty well. Like Colin, Dylan, Corey, like Aleks. Yeah. Hi, Dan. Welcome back. there's definitely a lot of easy fun stuff that could be for that theme though. But there is a lot of past loved ones that do pretty well in the game because they have that family instinct.
Yeah.
Crash Out Harbor. I just saw that one now. Ben, I swear to God, we're gonna have a very, very long discussion later tonight, so you better be up.
Dude, Ben's probably drunk right now.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for being on Richie long conversation duty tonight. Thank you.
No dog treats for me tonight. Well, yeah, I'm gonna have the bag. I'm outside the kennel.
No, it's gonna be snacks
so I
for
already have
you.
access to it.
Okay.
My mom
All right,
gets
good night, Ben.
getting back in as well. Flexing, you can say someone's name,
Okay,
right?
well-
Are you serious? Jamil, I have autism. That's a big thing for me. I'm bad at remembering.
Here we go again.
There it is.
Ben, hopefully you have fun on your vacation.
I'm going to. Oh yeah, how convenient for you. Episode 6 time.
Yes,
okay, I
Richie,
do.
read it.
I had to prep this on the fly. Actually, I thought there was one that I was sent for a sneak peek for this one. I literally spent 20 minutes finding it. I could not find it. So if there was one sent to me and I just missed it, that's my bad. So the episode 6 teaser, very, very short one. The merge shakes up the game, leading to suspense and chaos. Oh, he did?
Messages. Oh, hey,
No
he
lies
did.
detected.
Oh, I picked the wrong app. Sorry, that's my bad. He did send me it.
scratch that. Redo it.
You're getting two teasers tonight,
wait,
folks.
Is it,
Two
is,
teasers.
is
Yeah,
this
okay.
live?
I knew I was looking. I looked on Snapchat for like 20 minutes, and I was like, "Where is it?" Another one. After enduring a lot of chaos to begin this game, the gameplay has only just begun as the next phase of the game begins.
There you go.
I don't know. I like the first one. No, I'm just fucking with you.
Well, hopefully you guys like both of them.
There we go. Get
I
two.
couldn't find it. And I was like, wait a minute. I checked on Snapchat like 20 minutes. I'm like, wait, where was it? So it's been a week. And I
There
have
we
not
go.
been sleeping.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
All right, so I'm going to give like 20 more seconds for any last questions to pop in, any last comments before we close it off for tonight.
I think everybody is kind of.
We'd like to say once again, thank you once again to Nick and to Dan for joining us.
Yep.
It was great having you all on.
Yes.
Thanks for having us. This was so much fun.
We're really
Yeah.
glad we got to have you guys on tonight. Hopefully sometime in the future we can eventually bring you guys back on again. So, because this has been a fun time.
Thank you.
Yes.
All I ever wanted was to be able to trash talk Jamil unopposed, and you guys provided that, and I really, really appreciate it.
No, it's
Hell yeah.
present.
We aim to please.
Oh, it's fun. This has been a fun time. I'm
Okay.
like, yeah, sorry. I promise I'm having a great time. So if I seem distracted, that's my bad. So
I
Right.
agree with Devin. Y'all were robbed, and
Right.
that happens to a lot of good players. But yes, better luck next time.
Next time.
next
we go.
time.
That's just a
Oh.
phrase they say. I don't know. Devin doesn't tell me nothing. I don't know.
Yeah, we are. We-
So
I'm in the
We have
dark.
no clue.
I will say one last thing, bit of a what's next thing for next week. Next week, Monday, September 8th, there'll be a new episode. The next episode we just gave the preview for before, catch what happens at the start of the merge. And then episode 7, Wednesday, September 10th, watch what happens as the game continues further on, both at 6 p.m., followed by a live breakdown at 8:15 p.m. Central Timing. Unless anyone has any other comments you want to say.
I think we're ready to close it out.
All right. Well, with that in mind, my name's Richie. I've been joined here by my guests, co-host and guest tonight.
Aleks 1.0.
Aleks 2.0. Thank you for being here.
Nick.
Just Nick. And Dan. Kitty, actually.
Kitty.
Kitty,
There we go,
all right.
Kitty.
Dang kitty.
I've been here tonight with
Kitty.
all of them. We thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. Keep in tune for our next episodes. Thank you guys so much, and we hope you have a great night. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
See you guys.
Arr. Arr.
Beep, 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 beep.